Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm doing something completely different. A lot of you won't know this about me, but in university, I took criminology and criminal justice. I've always been passionate about true crime and mysteries and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it would be fun to incorporate that into my channel. So if you guys enjoy this, please let me know in the comments below so I'll continue to add videos like this. So a case that has always stuck with me is the case of Deorr Kunz Jr. He is a little 2-year-old boy that went missing on a family camping trip, and to date he's still missing. So if this in any way helps, spread the word about what's happened, I mean, that would be amazing. So, I mean, no disrespect to any of the people involved in this. I am just giving you the facts that I have researched and found on my own. So, if you guys are interested in this, just keep on watching.
I love you. I love you.
So Deorr Kunz Jr. was a 2-year-old little boy. He was known as Little Man to his family. His mother was named Jessica and his father was named Vernal, or Deorr Sr. So what happened was the family decided on July 9th of 1995 that they were going to go on a family camping trip. They were going to go with Jessica's 76-year-old grandfather to the camping place where he used to take her mother. So the family headed off to pick up the grandpa, and then the grandpa let them know that he wanted to bring his friend Isaac along with them. So Jessica and Vernal had never met Isaac. He was a little bit of a stranger kind of guy, but she figured it would be okay. So the family then left Idaho Falls and headed about 120 miles to the Timber Creek campground in Lador. So that night the family arrived and they set up camp quickly before it got dark, and then they all went to bed. So the next day there is conflicting stories. Isaac claims that he woke up first and that he made breakfast, but Jessica claims they woke up first and they made breakfast and that they had not seen Isaac all morning. The family, Vernal, Jessica, and Deorr Jr., all headed out to the nearest town to go get some groceries and some supplies.
Jessica and little Deorr leave camp and go to Lador's only convenience store.
Vernal went in and asked if they had diesel. The lady told him, go to, it's like a rundown diesel or another gas station, like 2 buildings down. So we went over there. Little man and I stayed in the truck while Vernal went across the street. The guy said that the pumps were out, but to go to Peterson Welding, and they sold like red dye diesel.
Vernal fills up his truck. They go back to the convenience store, pick up snacks, and head to the campground.
So as soon as they got to the campground, they all decided that they wanted to go fishing. The grandfather was not super healthy, so he was on oxygen, so he stayed at the campground. Isaac was going to show Vernal and Jessica this little fishing hole that wasn't too far away. So Jessica claims that she left Little Man with the grandpa and that he agreed to look after the little boy. They headed out and they were gone for about 15 minutes into this little fishing hole where they saw some minnows, and they thought that Little Man would enjoy the minnows. So Vernal walked back to the campground to go grab him.
When I come back up to get him and I yelled over to Grandpa, "Where's little Deorr?" He immediately shocked. He says, he came up to you.
They were frantically searching for the little boy for about half an hour, and then Jessica called her mother, freaking out, and the mother said, you need to call 911. So Jessica stayed at the campsite and called 911, and Vernal headed in his pickup truck down the road because he claimed he couldn't get cell service. So they both ended up calling 911 approximately at the same time. So law enforcement then showed up, and by that evening, within 12 hours, there was hundreds of people searching for this little boy. They had ATVs, they had people on horseback, they had dogs, they had helicopters, divers, everything. So Jessica was mostly worried about this creek that was right beside the campground.
Little boy went missing and where they're searching. Watch this. This is the campsite where Deorr and his family were camping. It looks like your average campsite. You've got a fire pit, a picnic table, very close to the creek that we have heard so much about. In fact, the creek is just here a few yards away. Notice the terrain down to the water. It's very steep. It would be difficult for a young child to make their way down that hill. It is possible, but again, it is a steep hill.
It was proven that the little boy never made it down to the creek, so they searched for the little boy for days. The family reached out to media.
An in-depth search, nothing substantial is found, and it seems once again that the case has come to a standstill.
One way or another, we will find him, no matter what it takes.
We want people to know his face, and when they leave their house, we want people to know.
Family 100% cooperated with law enforcement, and they were not considered a suspect at the time. So they considered that this was possibly an abduction or that an animal had taken the little boy. A private investigator that was a former U.S. Marshal was brought in to help with the case. After there was no leads and the boy still remained missing, the law enforcement started to point the finger towards Jessica and Vernal. They both failed 4 to 5 polygraph tests, but they claimed it was because they were distressed over their missing son. Once FBI was brought in and helped in the investigation, they wondered if the little boy had ever actually made it to the campground because there was absolutely no trace of him there, no hair, no DNA of any kind.
Give me someone besides Isaac that says he's alive. Give me one person, just one person tell me that they saw that baby sometime Thursday or Friday. Not one person has told me that they've seen that baby on Thursday or Friday. Not one, not one.
So Isaac can place him here?
Isaac says he was here. But when you pin Isaac down on that comment and you talk to him, say, Isaac, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I saw him. Where'd you see him? Well, you know, just around the camp. The question is Isaac mentally capable of understanding of what's going on?
But Philip Klein, who later became an investigator in this case, claimed that there was blood splatter from the little boy on Vernal's pickup truck. However, when I looked into that information, it was never reported from the police, so I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not.
Frank Vilt joined the search for Deorr 1 month after the toddler's disappearance.
So I've heard their dogs were up there searching, the immediate search after he was reported missing, and then the subsequent searches, and it bothered me that nothing was found.
It didn't take Vilt long to realize something wasn't right. A month and a half later, he sent this letter to the little boy's parents. I am withdrawing from the investigation because of circumstances beyond my control, including, but not limited to, a breach of trust on your part concerning your refusal to allow me to make this case national. Both of you lied and misrepresented the true facts that could solve the mystery of your missing son. My suggestion is that you fully cooperate with the Lemhi County Sheriff and tell the truth. Vilt quit his investigation, but never stopped wondering.
So something that still baffles investigators in this case is that when the family claims that they went into Deorr and they went to the stores, they claim to have spoken with many people and had interactions with them and talked to the cashier, and that little man was flirting with the cashier. However, none of those people remember seeing Jessica, Vernal, or the little boy.
The family announces they're raising money to hire Philip Klein, a private investigator based in Texas. Klein is confident he can help solve the case.
We're getting there. We promise you we're getting there. This is a very solvable case.
So the family had hired a second private investigator. So he took the case on, and he came to the same conclusion as the first private investigator, where he said that the finger was pointing towards Jessica and Vernal. He, however, thought Vernal knew nothing about it, but that it was mostly Jessica.
And this family fired our team, fired us, just in the written, you're fired. Because we came to them in a family meeting and sat down, I would say there was 12 to 14 people, and sat them down and said, this is where we have, this is where we're going, here's the evidence, guys.
But that didn't stop his firm. Klein's team conducted a search at the campground in June. He says the parents' timeline does not add up.
So Philip Klein was criticized for being way too hard on the family. I will play some clips basically of some of the things that he pointed out. And once the family was confronted by him about knowing more about Deorr's disappearance than they stated, they ended up firing him. And then an anonymous donor gave Philip Klein money to keep him following the case.
Why would they lie to us? Why would they not just tell us the truth?
Jessica and Vernal remain free and are not arrested, but Klein makes a serious allegation about Deorr's mother.
I am going to announce to you today that Jessica herself has told investigators on our team she knows where the body is, but she will not go all the way and finish her story.
The stress of the investigation and media scrutiny ended up tearing apart both Jessica and Vernal, so they separated, and within a very short period of time, Jessica that she fell in love with and felt she could confide in, and she ended up getting married. I believe it was within 1 year, and also Vernal ended up moving away. 1 year later, searchers went back to the area and they combed through every spot you can think of. They brought cadaver dogs in, divers, just absolutely scoured the area.
The 1 year anniversary of Deorr's disappearance approaches. People magazine features the story on its cover as Sheriff Bowerman appears on national television.
We've all been sort of puzzling over this, trying to put the pieces together. Was it a murder? Was it an accident? How do you figure this one out?
Well, I'm moving more and more towards it being a homicide, strictly because we've ruled out the abduction, we've ruled out wild animals, and just your general thought tells you that if there was an accident, there's no reason not to come forward.
Last time you saw baby Deorr, what was your impression of him? That you can remember the last time seeing him?
That he was, having fun. Just like I said, he was just like a normal Deorr, having fun, doing his thing. Looking at different, exploring, looking at different things,
Eventually, Jessica kind of tried to put the blame towards Vernal and say that he possibly could have had some involvement. There was a time period where they were separated when they were searching for the little boy. So some say that there was enough time to possibly get rid of the body. However, I think it's weird that they only started to say this once they had both separated. So basically, to date, there has never been anything found. There's been no trace of the little boy.
Daddy's never forgot you, and he never will. I will find you. Till the day I die, I will continue. You will always be in my mind, and I will do whatever it takes to find you.
I would just say that I hope he's being taken care of. That I love him more than anything in this world.
I love you. I love you.
The real victim here is little Deorr. I just want to find him.
We're looking for you, son, and we will find you. And we love you more than anything in the world.
If somebody has him, please don't hurt him. Just bring him home safely.
I think this case is extremely sad, and I feel for the family. However, some strange details surrounding the case. So I just hope that one day they can get some answers and possibly bring little man home. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. I would like to do more, so let me know what you guys think about it, and if you guys like it, then I will continue to do so. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.